Miles had drummed since he was like a teenager, right?
Yeah.
But he had to learn jazz.
Yeah.
He hadn't drummed jazz, like flicking the snare.
Yeah, he never really had any formal training,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was tricky because it was, in my mind, I mean, Andrew, and a lot of this was modeled on how I was when I was in high school, was Andrew's like very kind of an anachronism in a way. He's sort of born like 40 years too late. He idolizes sort of the golden era of kind of big band jazz, and so he wants to hold his sticks that way. He uses traditional grip. He tilts his snare down. He does all these sort of things that to him bring him closer to people like Joe Jones or Buddy Rich or Chick Webb or drummers like that. So he kind of lives and breathes that sort of music, and so that's the thing. It's not even just that he wants to be a jazz player. It's that also that his comps are not even contemporary jazz, and so for Miles to learn that, it's not just that he have to learn kind of jazz in general, but he had to really he had to hold his sticks differently. He had to really kind of develop a whole different physical relationship to the kit, and that was actually the hardest thing. He picks up stuff really quickly. He's a really quick study. The hardest thing was the physical, was just the kind of that sort of rapport with the kit on a physical level.
Yeah, even for people who like to see jazz drummers, there's something that playing jazz drums does to your face that only like jazz drumming does. You just kind of contorts your face. You got that down really well.
Miles, I started seeing that when Miles was rehearsing, and I was like, oh, this is great. Miles, the great stuff about that is that he's not even really doing that on purpose or consciously. I mean, it's just sort of. That's one thing where, and he's spoken about this too, where having something like an instrument to sort of play on screen can actually help you as an actor because it breaks down some of the self-awareness. At the end of the day, he's on set, he's thinking, about his character, about his lines, whatever, the beats he has to play. But when he's kind of, hunched over the kit, just trying to play on screen these patterns and rhythms that are really difficult, at the end of the day, that takes over your mind. That becomes what you're focusing on. And so yeah, there's a certain amount of it that stops being acting, which is exactly what you want. I mean, actors often talk about having like bits of business to help them in a scene. It's why actors used to all like to kind of smoke cigarettes in movies, or kind of have breadcrumbs to play with on the table, or just something. It gives a physical component that keeps you from becoming too plagued by self-awareness as an actor, and kind of too hearing the sound of your own voice and judging yourself as you act. As an actor, you're always just trying to get out of that self-awareness, just to be in the moment, just to be like we are in real life, I guess. And so drumming is as big a bit of business as you can give an actor.